Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Armchair Analysts podcast. I am Johnny, and with me always is...
Ace.
Big Ace, baby. How's your quarantine coming so far?
Well, all right. I'm not in lockdown like all of Wisconsin and yourself, unfortunately, but it is still kind of eerie. Traffic's a lot easier.
I'll tell you, man, my morning commute, my drive home have never been easier.
I know, this is really odd times, especially with so many different industries closing down.
Yeah, it's a weird time to be alive. It definitely is a weird time to be alive. But you know what? Some things got to stay the same. We need some sort of normalcy in our life, so podcast keeps going, right?
Absolutely. This brings everything kind of full circle back to normalcy in a way.
At least for while we're recording, right? So, alrighty. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of said podcast, if you are enjoying what you're hearing and you say, you know what, maybe I want to listen to these guys on the reg, feel free to follow us on Twitter at AA Podcasts, or if you haven't already, please subscribe at any of the major platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and the Alexa app. So, whoever you want to listen, and just a little preview, we're most likely going to be having this current podcast being uploaded to YouTube for those of you that prefer to watch podcasts via YouTube. I remembered. I know we haven't talked about it all day, so but yeah, that's a thing to come. We've already kind of laid the groundwork for that, so just another way for you guys to get some content. Speaking of, I think we should just dive right into it, right?
For sure. Yeah.
All right, so obviously there is quite a dearth of sports with the COVID-19, but we just want to kind of go into the ramifications, just maybe some of the stuff maybe you have or have not thought of. And I think, Ace and I were talking about this, the seniors, whether they're high school or college, they had their season just truncated and they're not going to be able to play their sport again, at least not competitively. So just kind of want to talk about the ramifications of that, losing a chance to garner attention for, ambitions, if you're high school, trying to impress some colleges, if you're in college, having a great tournament show, to maybe get some draft stock going. So Ace was going to go into that because he's so smart about this kind of stuff.
Oh, gosh. You give me way too much credit sometimes, Johnny.
Yeah.
No, and this kind of hits both tundra topics regionally and as well as nationally, because there's obviously Minnesota being a hotbed for all this hockey talent. There's a lot of players' seasons that hopefully will, start up soon for that. But I know there's obviously with, baseball coming up soon for high school, and high school basketball already canceled. The hockey season, like I mentioned, already wrapped up at least. But this is just kind of odd times, I should say. That's for sure. Who knows what's going to happen here. I know one of the things that's going to be interesting in the next few years is they have this Fair Pay to Play Act in California, and that could really kind of change. Could you imagine that happening now, where they're these college athletes are able to hire agents for endorsement deals, sponsorships, anything? Could you imagine if that would have happened now, what they would be they'd be all endorsement deals online basically, or through social media in the downtime. But
well, that's the thing too. It's like these talks are heating up because this is a topic that's kind of got a little bit more, attention as time goes on. But I mean, you're not getting March Madness. Like that's the NCAA moneymaker. Like between bowl season and March Madness, that's it's a good chunk of change that they're making. But I'm really hoping, because to be fair though, like they've always had agents, they've always had that kind of stuff. It's just been under the table. Someone's just kind of handling that stuff. But now we're gonna try to be, a little above board with all this kind of stuff. So it's nice to see that it's getting headway. And at the same time, you kind of have to wonder, once this starts, let's say, you have agent through college. Mm-hmm. You keep that agent through the NFL. Are they allowed to cross those lines? Is everything kind of...
That's a good question.
It's just going to open up a lot of stuff, but I think it's the right path. I mean, the NCAA being a nonprofit is the biggest joke I've ever heard in my life. And
oh my gosh,
it's bad. Yeah. When somebody told me that, I'm like, you gotta be, no, there's no way. But
Well, and
yeah,
then on the high school end, when you're talking about seniors that lose playing time, the only other way they can showcase themselves is on the field by themselves, throwing with maybe one other person or hitting, depending. That's baseball as an example, but on the court, in the rink, it's like if people can't be in the same facility working out, how are they supposed to get tapes out to showcase themselves? This
we all got phones, man. Just put it on Instagram,
yeah,
and just tag the recruiters.
The recruiters, exactly. Tag the recruiters on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook Live, whatever you got to do.
Yeah,
TikTok.
well, I mean, because this could be going, through spring. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
who knows how long this stuff's gonna. And that's the hardest part I think about not only our daily lives, but also just going through this time and just not knowing what's gonna happen and all the stuff that was currently going on that's just been stopped, and the stuff that was coming up, like it's opening week for baseball.
Oh,
like
coming up here,
Just saying that, like we should have already had tickets. I should be grabbing the tailgate stuff.
We're going to be saying it's opening week in June, most likely.
And that's
that means think of all the high schools nationally with like elite baseball programs that are going to get canceled, or tennis. Name another spring sport. It's like
Henry Sibley Senior High, dude. Come on.
Minnesota Heights, what's up, Henry Sibley?
That's Ace's school for those not privy to that information. So yeah, yes. It's just all that kind of stuff that's being affected. And then, like I mentioned, the seasons of professional sports that were already underway. The NBA season, like, do they do awards now? Do you give the MVP to whoever had the most All-Star votes? Do you just flip a coin? I mean, it's okay. So then at the same time, you've had a season that's been truncated, but then, do you go on and hang up a banner for the Bucks because they had the best regular season record? Do you like how? I mean, obviously, I'm going to lean that way, but and then for college too, it literally didn't even get to the point where you were able to do the conference, championship. So it's like, is this just a regular season when you go back and look at the stats in the history books? Is it just a regular season with no tournament? Like, I don't. It's weird, man.
Every single sport this year is going to have an asterisk, most likely. Maybe outside of football, who knows how bad this COVID-19 virus spreads, but you're 100% right. The NBA, there's talks, or they haven't made anything final yet for the NBA and hockey in terms of like canceling the season altogether. There's an idea that the NBA would come back, play a handful of games before playoffs. Like, when I say handful, like literally maybe 5.
Yeah, you're looking at late June at best.
Yeah, and
so
hockey, I'm not too caught up with what's going on there, but I assume it's going to be similar, or it's at some point
their seasons are mirrored. I mean, the playoffs start within a week of each other, and they both last, almost a full month plus. So, yeah, I gotta feel like whichever one does, the other's probably gonna mimic. So, I mean, it stands to reason that even if they do come back, it's basically just, hey, this is your team. Do you remember these guys? Play with them. Okay, now here's the playoffs. So there's no real way to be able to make up that gap, I don't think. But we'll see. I'm excited to at least know that no season has been canceled yet. So
yeah,
but
thankfully it's
we did lose one. We had one
hope.
Casualty though. We did have one horrible casualty. This is the first March in my life without March Madness, so it's you got to think, like, all the companies around well, at least in America, especially, they're always worried annually about loss of productivity for March Madness. Can you imagine if we were all working from home and March Madness was going on?
Gosh,
you want to talk about Q1 profits? Oh my gosh,
no kidding. That'd be a unique way for marketing companies to inject ad revenue into their systems.
I mean, to be fair though, like, I know my boss isn't listening, so I'm okay, but I almost always at least have the stream on, if not being actively engaged on it in a screen, regardless of where I am.
Yeah.
So even if I don't have any, horses in the race, so to speak, I'm still watching it.
Yep.
It's an excuse to watch college basketball during the day, during the work day at that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think you probably would have had the Badgers going to the Final Four, right?
Well, glad you
I
brought
can't
this up.
joke. Gophers didn't make it again.
There was an ESPN simulation, I believe, and guess who they had winning the whole tournament?
Shut up.
No,
they didn't.
When have I ever lied to you in my life?
You got to send me this after.
I'm literally sending it to you right now because this came out about a week ago. My buddy sent it to me, and I thought it was just a mean troll. And they go through each level and break down how they did it, and they go through the numbers. And the thing is, this isn't like they ran the simulation 100 times, and the Badgers won everything the most out of everyone else. No, they just did one simulation with projected seeds and projected outcomes, and the Badgers won. So
what seed were they? Like a 6,
they were
maybe?
4, I think. I think they were 4. Yeah.
Okay.
So I assume that means they won or got very close, got like second place in the Big Ten tourney. So,
yeah.
Basically, we should just hang the banner. That counts. That's ESPN. It's an official publication. We will hang the banner and call it that. No, but seriously, like that's what we're missing. And it's awkward sports time because now there's no baseball, but at least we had March Madness. Now literally everything's gone, and I'm just scrambling to find things to do with my life. I'm actually I'm doing chores, I'm exercising. It's weird, man. I don't like it.
What?
Right? Being
Johnny,
a productive member of society, so to speak.
Yeah, we're supposed to be just structured in our nice little couch.
Yeah, Armchair Analysts breaking free, baby. We're getting out the door.
Yeah, you honestly kind of gotta. I've been taking walks recently just to kind of keep sane, and as well as exercise. And I haven't been able to box, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we saw those biceps. We know.
Yeah, posting on Twitter, right?
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is just like the competition and friendly camaraderie that comes along with March Madness, because I even made a bracket for my apartment complex because the winner, whoever won, got the highest in our CBS sports group. Whoever got the most points in their bracket got free rent for a month. Like, I mean, there was no entry fee. It was just doing it for fun. But like, even stuff like that, like we were like joking around with people in the building, like, "Oh, how'd you do?" Like, it just generates conversation and engagement where you normally wouldn't have it, even among coworkers. Even people that don't really give a rat's patootie about basketball or college basketball specifically. You'll have the girls picking it based on the colors of the jerseys or the mascots. Like, it's something. It's a bonding thing, and it's just fun. I don't know, and it's something to gamble on. Hello.
Oh, I know. And speaking of that, not to sidestep too much, but I want to find some research on how much the casinos are losing every day that they're shut down. More to come on that, but yeah, I know you're a big betting man, and we always, at least the last few years at Health Partners where I work, we've put in a $5-10 pool. With
whoa, that's like my full paycheck, man. Let's calm it down.
Yeah,
crazy.
So it's nice to just ride the coattails of a team, and especially one of those Cinderella teams. And
well, and that's kind of what I like doing with the NFL playoffs. Like, I rode that when the Ravens won, I rode them all the way. The Titans got to the AFC champ.
Ooh, yep.
It's nice. I don't know. It's nice.
That's actually it's a good segue.
You don't really get that, but as we brought up NFL, there's been some interesting things. I think the coolest thing, which we had talked about a couple times, mostly me, because Aaron, I don't like the XFL, blah, 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 blah. No, he never said that, but I was always curious how, the star players in the XFL, what would happen to them? Like, just, do you play the full season and then, you play another full season in the NFL, whatever? Obviously, they missed out on, I don't even know how many games. I think it was 3 playoff games, something like that. Plus, they missed a couple regular season games. So, obviously, that season's over. So, P.J. Walker got signed by the Panthers. And then the throw-in Samoan, Jordan Ta'amu, went to the Chiefs. So, we kind of get to see how this goes. They didn't play the full season, so there's not as much wear and tear. But we kind of get to see the transition and see what this could do as a farm league. Because that was, as much as it is nice to have entertainment after the Super Bowl, the big thing here is getting a real farm system or something damn close to it for the NFL. So this will be exciting, man.
Yeah, these guys are big quarterbacks too. I think they're both upwards of 6'3", 6'4". Do you know where Jordan Ta'amu played college ball? Because I think P.J. Walker was Temple, and I've heard of Ta'amu's name before the XFL too. So he had to have been a pretty.
I'm not super familiar actually in my
program.
But I mean the thing is, it's like they got put on they got a chance, they got signed, they made the best of it, and I don't know about you, but if you even paid just a lick attention to the XFL, you were watching PJ Walker highlights for sure. Yeah, because the guy was just absolutely insane. And well, he's fast, but he's also he's just straight up athletic and he's smart. He's got a damn good arm, and I don't know, man. Like I understand like the talent level going from XFL to NFL, but at the same time, it's like he has the unteachable stuff. He has the know-how and the mechanics that are very difficult, if not impossible, to teach. So Jordan was more just a game manager, check down kind of guy. He wasn't going to make big plays, but he also was not afraid to step up in the pocket and take a hit too. So
yeah,
I mean,
and judging by the teams they signed with, they're obviously going to be brought in as backups. And PJ Walker has a connection with Matt Rule. I think either Panthers head coach or the O coordinator.
He's the head coach. And, well, that's a good point. You say P.J. Walker signed to be a backup, but they cut Newton today. They traded Kyle Allen. So the Panthers are I think they're just going to roll with Bridgewater and Walker. So, I mean, Bridgewater, I know he's your boy from his Viking days, but he has been hurt. He's not exactly the same player, and he's definitely not going to be a game-breaking player. So maybe there's something else going on there. Maybe there might be a little bit more to the PJ Walker story than we've seen so far. So that's another thing too. It's come OTAs and training camp, like are they actually going to have time to compete? Are they going to be able to have that many people on a field?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. If that all gets delayed, you got to give the nod to Teddy since he's got a little bit more experience. But obviously, regardless, this is one of the years that's really changed the landscape of the league. Right now, you really don't have the Patriots as the favorite anymore. The Chargers, clearly losing Rivers, are going to take a step back. Panthers, who knows? Panthers could be one of those surprise teams.
But not in that division, though. Not in that division.
Yeah. Well, and absolutely, especially when you're talking about where Brady ended up landing in the with the Bucs. Yeah. God, Fox has to be loving this.
Why?
Just because they get to play Brady They'll get to play Brady and Breeze twice a year. They'll get to have, how many primetime games are the Bucs going to have this year?
You know what? If it takes away from the Cowboys, I don't care. Oh. I don't care. It doesn't. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. Like, okay, so I lived in Tampa for 4 years. I was there when they won the Super Bowl, when they transitioned from Dungy to big old Chucky. But I don't know how dedicated the fan base is. And, one of my good friends actually just moved from there. And I literally just texted him today, just like, hey, so you excited about Brady? Or you hopping on a bandwagon going somewhere else? And he's you know what? Some of the fans, like, there's not a ton of them, but some of the people that have stuck through the really crappy years, I think they're done with Winston. And getting Brady, like, that's a way to rejuvenate a franchise, right? Like, when has Brady not been top 10 in selling jerseys? Like, I don't even remember a time when that was a thing. So, I mean, that's obviously a big part of it. But yeah, butts in the seats, selling tickets, selling merch. Yeah. And like we talked about last week, it's not a horrible offense he's going into. That's one of the reasons why he's there. Yeah, he's going to enjoy the Florida sun, but the offense has a lot of nice pieces to it already.
Yeah. The offensive line might be the only slight question mark, but
but it wasn't any good in New England when he was there anyway last year. So
yeah, well, they always had a left tackle, it seemed like. So I don't know what the Bucs personnel is, but who knows? They'll obviously sign some guys coming up here.
It'll be interesting. I know people are already expecting them to make the playoffs. I'm like, that division did not get easier. I mean, the Falcons are nobody knows what's going on with the Falcons. Like, they could get blown out by the Browns and then, beat the Saints in New Orleans the next week. We have no idea what we were watching. Yep. But they picked up Gurley.
Colts,
they've made a few other moves. They have a little bit of cap space to play with, and I don't know.
Yep.
It could be a nice thing there, but again, like, I know people are just like going crazy about Brady and the Bucs. It's like, let's take a chill pill, buddy. Like, it's a new team. He wasn't great statistically last year. Like, yeah, they won, but I don't know. Like, he did not look like the same player. So I don't know if that was a big reason why New England wanted to move on, or if it was strictly money. And a lot of people are like, well, this is the time you can finally see if he was a product of Belichick and his system. Like, dude, he's so old now. Like, maybe 5 years ago you might have been able to make that argument, but now it's like, if you even wanted to compare with and without Belichick, like, it's not even fair because the guy is, 42, turning 43 this year?
Yep. Yeah.
Like, come on.
That's not a fair comparison.
I mega loathe the Patriots, and I will still give Brady props regardless of how he does, because... Dude, it's hard. Like, you got to remember, like, Joe Montana going to another team in his twilight did not end well. You have all of these Hall of Fame quarterback. Brett Favre, when he went to the Vikings, season 1 was great. And that season ended. How did it end? Picked. Yeah, exactly. He picked, and then after that next season was awful to watch.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you're talking about the 2009 season against the Saints.
Against the Saints, yeah. Tracy Porter picked. Like, it's hard to watch these MVP caliber players for so long and just, they hit the end of they get in the tailspin of the career. They go with another team, and it's like, you want to root for them, but sometimes it's just like, you got to hang up the cleats, man. Like,
what if, so Packers, Winston's still available. What if they signed Winston? I know that doesn't seem anything at all like what they would do, but you never know.
Packers have no cap room, and no. Yeah. Because even though he committed like 8 billion turnovers last year, he also still threw over 30 touchdowns. So
yeah,
he scored. Yeah, I mean, he scores points. He's not a great leader. No, there's no way. It'd just be so awkward.
Do they have enough cap space to bring back Matthews? Come on, Clay's got to retire.
They've already kind of been floating that idea around on Twitter and on some of the Packer sub forums, but I don't know, man. There was a reason we let him go, and there's a reason you never really heard from him when he was in LA. So
yeah,
we got the Smith Bros, but the thing is, like, there's such a flux at linebacker right now. I don't know, man. Gary's got to do something this year too, because he's got to start earning that contract. But it's weird. But there's another big story that we got to cover too, and I know that you. Particularly excitable when I mentioned this. The Olympics got postponed for 2020.
I know.
For at least a year, which I don't know, man. It's going to mess up their beautiful 4-year plan. That, and I always look forward to watching the Olympics. Like, even when the United States is not really expected to really do much, it's always fun to watch no matter what. And
yep.
Well, I don't know. It gets something to talk about. It's something to watch in public. It's something to watch with friends and family. And I don't know. It kind of hurts me a little bit.
And they would have likely basketball, volleyball, probably wrestling to some degree, cycling. There's a lot of sports we would have, especially basketball, likely won gold in for both the men's and women. So yeah, you're wiping out. Granted, it'll continue. It's not like it's canceled. Which I think is a good thing too. These athletes work too damn hard to like just literally say, okay, here we're gonna postpone this for 2 months, but you can't work out in that time. That wouldn't be fair to them at all. So I'm glad they extended it out a year because, again, I mean, they can all train individually, but for some of these team sports, you obviously need to work together. So to not be together, I can understand why they delayed this out a year or so, well, over a year at this point, because it'll be in the summer of 2021. Yeah, you're right. That is odd.
So, I mean, do they continue the 4-year chain from then, or is it 3 years after those Olympics end?
It's got to be 3. So the Winter Olympics will be in 2022 because since they're separate sports. I mean, unless there's another catastrophic event that we don't foresee, I think they're going to keep the cadence every 4.
Yeah, I don't know. That was it. Just watching the Olympics, especially in winter, because it's like you see the most random sports, like the skiing into the rifle targeting or rifle. Like you just see this. It's like you never really like. You're not ever gonna partake in it. You're never gonna watch it under any other scenario. But just watching them do like, I don't know. For me, it's enjoyment. And don't judge me, but I enjoy watching the figure skating. Just no. It's the tandems, the duos.
Oh, okay.
And the only reason is because I think
solo doesn't do it for you.
No. I need a team, baby. No, but they had this. I think it was this Russian couple, and they ended up doing their entire routine to the Sound of Silence by Disturbed, like the cover. Oh, and I don't know. I was like, Jess, I don't know if you know this, but this is like a rock metal band that they're doing this to right now. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was cool, and it's always interesting just to see how rude and mean the judges can be to people. Like, this poor girl like falls on her back and like gets hurt, and she loses points and gets DQ'd. Yeah. I don't know. It's some Schadenfreude. It's taking a little bit of pleasure in other people's misery, but.
Well, and then curling. Curling seems like
is the most exciting sport.
Yeah. I want to this winter. I'm going to make a goal to try to get out there and.
You mean lessons. We're going to make a goal?
Yes.
We're going to do a live session from a curling club.
Hell yeah!
I'm in.
To be able to get together to actually record an episode would be pretty dope.
Hey, you just gotta get your car working. Your moped. No, I'm just kidding.
What? That is not true,
Rude.
Folks. I do have a working vehicle.
One more topic. We have an amazing segment at the end, which I know everyone is just writhing in anticipation. But
yes.
So they actually, Mr. Ace brought this to my attention, but they actually confirmed that leaked Rams logo. Which, I mean, I wish they had someone that would even kind of look at it and be like, dude, this looks just like the same Chargers colors. Like, you can't do this. It looks so bad. But I think with the color adjustment, I think it looks a little bit nicer. I'm not going to say it's growing on me, but I'll just say that I hate it less.
Well, and they were their idea was going back to, I think, the 40s retro Rams head logo with the horn arching around. The only difference is this time they're including the L and the A within it, so you can just give recognition to the fact that they're back in LA. Because I think at that time, 40s, I don't remember when they moved to St. Louis, but they were playing in California at that time. So, yeah, I don't know. I already explained my thoughts, I think, last week. This was more to plug our logo and, just explain the fact that we're kind of got some
our logo?
Work with ours.
Whatever do you mean?
Yes. We're upgrading, or we're hoping to get some
about damn time
soon.
Yeah. We've got a few ideas in the works. They're a little cheeky right now, but
yeah.
I think it would be good if we maybe between us two, we finish a bottle of whiskey and we'll narrow it down to a couple, and then we'll let we'll let the people on Twitter battle for it and see what they think. And
I love it.
I think that'd be a good idea. I like it. All right, now, thank God, we have time for the greatest segment in podcasting history, Ace's Quick Six. What do you got this week, boss?
Thank you. This week it's going to be kind of interesting. It's who is going to retire first. So I matched them up, so there's 6 pairs, hence Quick Six. There's 6 pairs, and I want you to decide who is going to retire. Yes, you. Who is going to retire first?
This is your segment, bro. I don't know, man.
This is unprecedented. Right. Having somebody else fill in with the majority of the.
You're just lazy. You want me to do your job?
Not majority of the content, but.
All right. Who is the first pair?
Todd Gurley or Devontae Freeman.
So, arthritis knee that just got cut, returning to his hometown to play ball for the Falcons. or the guy who just got booted from the Falcons. You know what? I gotta say this one I don't really care. I don't have a horse in either race. I'm not a big fan of either one. Both of them have led me to fantasy wins and losses, but I feel like the knee arthritis, like everybody knows about it, but nobody really talks about it. It's got to be a thing. Like you don't bring up knee arthritis if it's not something that's eventually going to hurt you. And if the Rams are willing just to part ways after an incredibly mediocre season last year, like Super Bowl hangover, that was just such an underwhelming performance.
Yeah.
If they're willing to cut their running back when they really don't have a great option waiting in the wings, I would have to go Gurley retires first. Something's bad.
I agree.
I think after this year, you see a bigger breakdown, and then eventually he's just going to have to kind of hobble away in the sunset.
Yeah, and I think both health-wise, that probably is going to be the likely reason they both retire anyways, because I know Freeman, I think...
Freeman's small, but like he's a very like talented player too, so he doesn't take stupid hits. He's willing to go out of bounds. He's not going to stay in bounds like, oh, I just got to hit another guy. Like, he does it. He knows that he doesn't have the Derrick Henry frame, and he's not going to go out and just start attacking people. So, I'll say Gurley retires first.
Oh, and hey, the Lions acquired Devontae Freeman, FYI.
Yeah, I know that was my only hang-up about going with him, but I'm okay with it because they get hurt no matter what. So Freeman's not really gonna. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. That and they actually have a decent stable right now. So,
yeah, that's actually rare to say with the Lions. But all right, second up, Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota, number 1 and number 2 in 2015 draft class.
Oh, it's hard because both teams or both players are just in such a transition period. I think Marcus, man, the hype has been gone for a while. He lost his job to Tannehill. Jameis at least finished out the season. Yeah. I mean, tell me, the guy who lost this, just say this without even saying their names. Would you rather have the guy who lost his job to Tom Brady or the guy who lost his job to Ryan Tannehill? Answer. Mariota. Boom. Next.
I kind of disagree. I think it'll be Jameis, and I think it's because Marcus understands that he knows how to play a backup role now. I don't know if Jameis is willing to do that.
Whoever wants to admit that? I'm great at taking a demotion. I'm really good with less responsibilities. Yo, that's not a brag. Next.
Hey, here, hold a clipboard. All right. My boy Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is 1 year left on his deal with the Dolphins, or Phillip Rivers, who signed a 1-year deal with the Colts.
Rivers retires first. He's got 97 kids he has to go help get through college now, so he's going to get this one last paycheck. Gone. Split skis.
They both have one deal left, so I think
Fitzmagic has literally gone to every NFL, like half the NFL teams. He can go to one more, two more. He'll be fine. And after his heroics last year and knocking the Patriots out of the top seed, he's good. He's okay. So definitely Rivers.
All right. A couple more football ones. Cam Newton or Mitchell Trubisky. This kind of isn't too fair to Newton to put.
Yeah, it's very different players, but they're both at such a flux right now. I mean, the Bears are throwing money at any quarterback they can because they realize that, we done goofed. They kind of mortgaged their future and trying to get Trubisky in, and I don't think anyone in that state has any faith in him, and they lost faith probably week 4 or 5 into last season. So and Cam, I don't know what's going to happen with him. I mean, he doesn't have the athletic ability anymore. He's taking too many hits. And I think he's not divisive in the locker room, but he's not really going to pull everyone together. It's hard to. Man, this is a difficult one actually. I'll still go Cam. Ooh, Trubisky, okay. I think just because he's been able to somehow keep his starting job as long as he has. Although
based off age too, that's probably
that's the thing. Like you're counting on Mitchell being drummed out of the NFL completely at a very young age, which we've seen backup quarterbacks linger for far longer than they should. So I'll still go Newton.
Yep. Hey, honestly, one guy I didn't even include is McCowan. Is he even still playing? That
Oh,
guy might outlast all of them.
yeah, Aryan Nation. Blonde hair, blue eyes.
All right, next up, this is somewhat of a border battle question. Everson Griffin, who got released by the Vikings, or your boy Clay Matthews, released by the Rams?
Okay. So what was Everson Griffin's contract like? His last one.
Oh gosh, I looked at. I think he signed a 4 or 5 year, $45 million extension. So I believe he has a couple years left on that. When we.
Oh, so they cut him before. Wow, they cut him mid-extension.
Yep.
I think just because of they both are demanding higher price tags, but I think Griffin's just been healthier over his career, and Matthews he's missed a lot of playing time.
Yeah.
I think Matthews has to retire first. Like, I think physically he's probably more gifted, but his injury history, like he missed so many. Every part of his body has been messed up at one point. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Griffin. I think just because he's probably willing to take a smaller check, and because he's been healthier over time, I think he'll stay a little bit longer.
Yeah, in the summer of 2017, Griffin signed a 4-year, $58 million extension. God, oh my gosh, we're gonna be eating a lot of that. All right, and the last one is somewhat of a joke, I think, in my eyes. I don't know why, but I like bringing up Ryan Braun always.
The Hebrew Hammer, of course you do.
Or Nelson Cruz on the Twins. Twins DH.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like Cruz. I think it's got to be Cruz, man. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Age
yeah. Is he 40 yet? He's got to be 40.
Yep. He either just turned or he's definitely turning this year.
Okay, yeah.
He's on his last deal. This is a 1 year.
Yeah. It is, as much as I would like us to move on from Braun completely, I think it's got to be Cruz. He's the elder statesman in the Twin Cities, but...
Yeah. They're not paying Braun. Well, I mean, for his production, he's probably overpaid. But
You mean lack of production? The thing is, he's still a household name. Like, that's the sad thing. Like, obviously after the whole roid epidemic thing, he's been kind of ostracized. But it's not like we're not gonna be able to have a dedicated player that could do the same things he does. Mm-hmm. Just because the players that we're bringing up, they're just not consistent enough. Nor are they going to be able to be retained like he is, because no one wants Braun. Like, there's never been a real competition for Braun. So, like, we'll lose more talented players, and then we'll have to, bump less talented players. So he's just like he's steady. He's steady average.
Yeah.
All right, so you got all these written down now, so we can check back in 2 to 3 years.
Oh gosh, yeah, maybe even longer for some.
Alrighty, well that was fun actually.
It
was surprisingly challenging. I like that.
Yeah, I like your input actually. I'm going to consider this more often.
That's rare. No, you're the first person to ever say that in my life. But all right, that is what we got for this week. So again, I'm gonna raise our flag one more time and do some shameless self-plug-in, just because we love doing this. We're excited. We know that a lot of people are enjoying this on many different methods and means, but you know what? We're going to be here every week, so support us if you can. Try to get some of your friends and fam, maybe some of those people that you're working from home with now. No,
sure
it's don't nobody needs to hear us that much, but if you're not already, like I said, follow us on Twitter at AA Podcasts, and as mentioned before, we're on every major podcasting platform: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and Alexa. Yes, people are actually listening through Alexa, and we love them. Don't care how you listen, as long as you do. I'm Johnny, and with me is Ace, and we are out.